And what's really interesting is like over time, the people that are in your life, they're going to start noticing. You just carry yourself a little bit differently. You communicate a little better. Yeah, it's really interesting what door-to-door can do for communication.
The best thing about here is the people, but also I've made more money here, a lot more than when I was working hourly.
Because I'm all about like the team's number one. Take care of y'all. Y'all are going to take care of me. Take care of y'all. You're probably going to take care of the customers. And so it's just kind of this, everything kind of interconnected, just with the integrity being number one core value. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Behind the Knock podcast. Today we have both Jenna and the $1 Million Molly on the podcast, both of which, so Molly's been a part of the organization for a good little while now. And how you doing, by the way, Molly?
Oh, great.
Doing great. Yeah. Thanks for coming on today. Yeah. And how about yourself, Jenna?
I'm doing really good.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, thanks for coming on. So it's a unique perspective that we have on this podcast because Molly's been doing this for a good little while. Some different companies, different industries. So it's kind of a take on what someone can look like down the road a little bit with some of the success that you can have with this. And then Jenna, she's newer to the industry. So she's been with the company for, how long has it been?
3 weeks.
3 weeks,
yeah.
Okay. And I've already realized some success as well. So it's kind of like what it can look like just coming in, what it can look like more sustained. And also just to kind of open up the conversation and what it looks like as an example for women in the industry. Because predominantly male dominated, all good and well, but there's a lot of opportunity for the women in this space to come up and make a lot of noise. So hopefully this episode will kind of work towards that and allowing some visibility with y'all and maybe provide a little bit of inspiration for some people to move forward with, an opportunity like this. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
Fabulous.
Awesome. So let's talk to Molly first. And this is interesting because I haven't got to get to know you a whole lot. We've talked, but it's mostly you just asking me a bunch of questions. So I get to ask you some questions. But yeah, Molly, take us through a little bit. Like, obviously you've done some different things with door to door, but what initially got you into the space?
Yeah, so I got into the industry because my mom she was turning her basement into an apartment and using it as an Airbnb was the goal, or renting it out monthly. But we became very close with the contractors, and one day they brought someone over and they introduced him to me. I guess they were they thought we might like each other. I didn't know that.
Matchmaking.
Yeah. I didn't realize that at the time, but they said like, oh, this is Tony. He goes door to door and he makes like $100,000 a year. And to me, that was so much money at the time. And I wasn't interested in Tony, and we never really talked after that. I didn't even know they were trying to set us up, but I was interested in what Tony was doing for work. So one day I said, I want to do what Tony's doing, because he was just working the summer.
Yeah.
So I was like, and so they gave me Tony's number, and I called him and I asked questions about it. And I ended up, that was my first time going door to door.
Okay. And which industry was that for?
So that was pest control.
Okay.
And it was just a summer job. At the time I ran into another coordinator who was the manager. He tried to recruit me, and I said, I'm working till the summer's over, but I kept his card. And then once the summer ended, I hung on to that, and I called him. And then I remember at the end of the job doing pest control, they're like, okay, the summer's over. What's everyone going to do? And they asked around, and I'm like, I want to keep doing this. So I just loved it. And then, so I kept the card, and then I worked for another home improvement company, but they did siding, mostly roofing. Okay. And then they did windows as well before I moved here.
Oh, awesome. How long did you do that for?
So I've been doing this like 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware that you had been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
And then you had then transitioned into Windows specific.
Yeah, when I moved here.
Okay, when you moved to
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're currently in Albuquerque.
That's true.
Yeah, I do that too. I'm like here. I'm like, wait, that's not here. It's there.
Yeah.
And then I'm like dealing with all these different time zones, Mountain and Pacific
Right.
and Central all the
Yeah.
time.
Although we will open an office here at some point.
Yes. We're shooting for the end of the year, so we'll just keep pushing forward and make it work.
Really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you've worked with some different window companies.
Yes.
And obviously you've worked with us for a little bit. So what would you say is like some of the differences that you've noticed?
Well, in Washington, it's very different. There's not the freedom that you're not at 1099. You're an employee there. You clock in, you clock out. The bonus structure, there's a bonus structure, not a commission, and it's a lot less. So what's different is the best thing about here is the people. But also I've made more money here, a lot more than when I was working hourly. I guess high risk, high reward.
Exactly. It's a bet on yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, I agree with that.
Looks like you won that bet, Molly.
Well, it's so nice. I feel, so valued here, and I feel most importantly so supported. Everyone wants everyone to win. We all look out for each other. It's like family.
Yeah.
I just love this company. It's definitely the best job I've ever had.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
And that's like the vision of it, right? It's like, it's something special. And we treat it with honor and respect, and we just kind of keep building it. Like the way I view it, it's almost like I'm not even the owner of it. I'm like the procurer of it. It's almost what it feels like. And it's kind of weird, but I don't know. It doesn't like process in my head that like, okay, yeah, you own this company that's doing all this money and all that. It's like, hey, I'm just part of the team, because that's all I've ever been. But, I think that's good in a sense because I'm all about like the team's number one. Take care of y'all. Y'all are going to take care of me. Take care of y'all. You're probably going to take care of the customers. And so it's just kind of this, everything kind of interconnected, just with the integrity being number one core value.
That's something I would say that really stands out of setting this company apart from other ones I've worked at. The integrity. Just like not just what can I get from the customer, but really caring about and hearing the customer and wanting them to feel good and wanting them,
It's relational, not transactional.
I agree.
And whether it's our customers or our teams, I like to treat it as such. And we're going to get big, we're going to get huge, but not for the sake of getting big and huge. It's only for the sake of growing organically and having opportunity for people. So that's the kind of the idea behind it. But that's really cool to hear your perspective of it, right? Because I just got my, I'm in the weeds doing all sorts of stuff all the time, and I don't really get a chance to get that sort of perspective from people. So I really appreciate it, Molly. Well, cool. So let's turn it over to Jenna for a little bit. So Jenna and I we did a employee highlight earlier, kind of an interview. So some of this might be a little redundant, which is fine. But yeah, so Jenna, what would you say like made you feel, I guess, open to something like this?
Well, after being underemployed or unemployed for the last 3 years, and I had been dealing with health issues too, I was at a point where I needed to find work that actually paid more than minimal or, and so I turned in about 30 plus, 35, 40 resumes through Indeed and Glassdoor and ZipRecruiter. And it was in the industry of where I have a license, which is esthetician. And I got a couple of interviews, and then they said they're moving on with other applications. And then I decided, well, I'll just do some out of the box thinking, and I'll apply to other types of work, about 3 of which were windows. I got an interview for one other one and didn't get it. I got an interview for this one, and I had that interview with Drake. And I wanted to be completely honest and transparent with what I wanted from work as a salesperson. And I wanted to be a part of honest sales. And because I had about 3 months of sales with a car dealership, and they told me that they were honest. And the first time that I had to tell someone that we had a car on the lot that I had just sold, and they came in and they wanted me to just get them in a car, I realized that was not for me. So in the interview with Drake, I told him that I wanted to be an honest salesperson. I wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself, where I'm trying to get the right, audience or the right customer to the product. And he liked my answers. I wasn't sure exactly what he thought of that, because as you think of most sales jobs, it's just,
little counter.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to be honest. You have some kind of pitch. You have an agenda. And that wasn't the case. And I was hired, and I couldn't be happier. I met the team, and they were just so warm and welcoming on day one. And I felt like this was a kind of a work family. It's a rare feeling indeed.
Yeah. And something like this, it depends on how far, and thanks for sharing that, by the way. But something like this, it depends on how far you want to take it. You could take it pretty far, and the further you go, the more time commitment there is for it. So major time commitment. Depending on how far you want to take it, right? It can be a huge time commitment, but what's awesome about it is, depending on what it is, say like a coordinator role, you can really maximize your efforts there and have a lot of extra time off. Like, Molly, have you had a deal close on your day off before?
Yeah.
Feels pretty good, right?
Yes.
Guess what? That's not possible as a director. It's a 1-for-1.
Okay.
You can't multiply your efforts. You can't have 2 appointments in the same time slot. You can't get appointments ran so there's absolutely benefits of it. But again, it's like you can kind of work yourself into kind of this mode of like really having a pretty good schedule, and you're making good money. But it's like, how far do you want to take it? Because every level up, it's going to be a time commitment, and especially if it's like leadership. Once you get into leadership, it's like it never stops. I intentionally leave Drake alone, even when I need to talk to him sometimes, just because I know everyone else has got to get a piece of him too. So I'm like, I'm going to give the old boy a break, give him a breather, especially when he's on the road. I got a whole list of stuff to talk to him about, but he's in the pocket right now, and I don't want to deter him from that. So it gets difficult, though, when the higher you go with this stuff, the more like responsibility. But it's like, just figure out what your why is. Okay. Your why in terms of why you're doing the job. And then if you want to progress in it, because you could be a coordinator and make a ton of money. It's amazing. Just specialize in that. However, there's other things to do. You can get into the leadership. You can get into closing or whatever it is. All of it's going to be a major time commitment. And the higher you go, the more, I guess, the responsibility is there to kind of maybe be spread here, spread there, or whatever, instead of just focusing on the task at hand. So it's a really cool, the way the industry's developed, because once upon a time, it was really kind of set up to where you could only really make money as a closer. It was like we put the closers on pedestals, and it was like that's the only it's that way or no way. And then there would be people over time that would be really awesome at coordinators, and just for one reason or another, it just wasn't quite panning out as a director. But we had put it so much on a pedestal of being a director that it was almost like an ego check to not be one. And so over time, it's like, how do we really highlight this position for the people that can really just specialize in that? Because you could specialize in it, but when you got that director over there making all this money, it's just, it was set up in a way to where it wasn't beneficial at scale, I would say, because not everyone is meant to be like this person that goes in there and says, here, give me 50 grand on the spot. Some people are really good at generating that curiosity and really qualifying that appointment and setting it up and getting in and out. And guess what? Almost every time we run payroll, Molly's at 10%. What do we pay our directors?
10%.
10%. And guess what? That's a lot. They get paid good. These directors, everyone gets paid good. So, but yeah, more often than not, there might be like 2 payrolls ever that Molly didn't get 10%. Like, she's on it. So she can really specialize in it. She makes essentially director money, and she's not having to, it's not like it's easy. She puts in work. She puts it in. But, she wasn't at someone's house till midnight the other night, like LaShawn was. Yeah. And guess what? You made as much money as he did on the job. So, but it's different, like just what works for you, right? So there's been a lot of something we were talking about earlier is there's females in this industry now, Windows specifically, where I'm pretty sure there was 3 golden doors last year for women, nice. Which is top 1% in the industry. Out of all these companies, all these offices, there was 3 representing. And one of them, I'm not sure how old she is, but she's in her early 20s. Early 20s, pretty young girl, and she's in there closing deals over $100,000. I think she closed one that was like $123,000 or something like that. Yeah. So big time. Wow. Big time. And so it's a really great time, not only in Windows specifically, but also women in the industry. And it's almost like y'all got this double whammy going on or triple whammy going on, because you're a part of a great organization. You're a part of a great industry, and then you're great. So, you got some trifectas going on. So to kind of put it back on y'all, Molly, what would you say to someone, I guess, questioning, maybe someone in a similar kind of like, situation that maybe you've been in, to where it's like maybe transitioning industries? Were you like a server before? Is that what?
I have been a server. I don't, before I got into this, I worked for 2 different insurance companies.
So different.
And then
things.
I also did hair.
Okay.
For a while. So
it sounds like even similar to Jenna, or a lot of, even myself, it would be like up until Windows, it was like every 3 years I would change industries. Every 3 years, change industries. And then I'm in my 6th year in Windows. So I got the double up on it. So, and it's not just, I would say women specifically, but there is a lot of people, there's a lot of women that may identify with like, y'all's situation, trying this, trying that, applying to jobs, and then maybe, well, what if, thinking outside the box a little bit. When it was time for you to knock a door, how did you feel? Like your first door?
It's been so long, but I know I was nervous.
Yeah.
I got thrown out there really quick.
Pest control, they kind of just drop you off in the hood, and
it's like I got a half a day with my manager, and then it's like you're on your own. You're on that side. I'm on that side.
Yeah.
So, of course, like anything new, it definitely takes you outside of your like comfort zone. I don't think this job's for the faint of heart. I try not to get caught up too much by the day by day. I do have a belief, like if I keep putting doing the best I can, controlling the controllables, everything ends up panning out at the end always. So I believe that.
So I've been struggling with certain issues my entire life, that I like certain lessons in life. And it came to a point where through my energy work, what seemed to really resonate with me is to break free from limiting belief systems. And it came to a point where I just stopped fearing the future and just like jumped in with both feet and decided to try something new. I was struggling anyway, so that's not going to change. And to just persevere and give it a real good go, and it paid off. I think at some point everybody goes through that breaking point where you want to enjoy what you do, and not just, well, it pays the bills. That's what I hear all the time. Yeah, I don't like my work, but it pays the bills, and I didn't want to be that kind of person. Was I a little hesitant? Sure. Of course, that first door knock, I remember it really clear. It was, a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, deer in the headlight look. And luckily, we had a system where I had a director with me, and then a mentor after a couple of days to, kind of pick up what I couldn't put out yet, and so they kind of held my hand a little bit, but, and I think they did it for long enough that it was only a week. But after that point, I felt like I knew it enough to do it myself. And I'm not going to lie, there was failure. There's absolute failure. And to me, it felt like I just bombed it at the door a few times, and a little bit of embarrassment. But as I picked myself up and just like moved on, I learned from it. I learned from fabulous mentors, how to get the appointment kind of buttoned up where you can qualify it a little bit deeper and make sure that you increase your success rate.
Yep.
So I've learned a lot in 3 weeks.
Yeah. It's amazing how much you can learn and how quickly you can learn it. And what's really interesting is, like, over time, the people that are in your life, they're going to start noticing you just carry yourself a little bit differently. You communicate a little better. It's really interesting what door-to-door can do for communication. I loved what you said about just like committing to it, both feet in, because that's, I would say, the biggest mistake I see people make in terms of, maybe they think about it, they want to do it, they even start, but there's always kind of a 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or they got a plan B or whatever it is. And if you have a plan B, just make that your plan A, because you're going to default to it anyway. So
that's great advice.
Yeah. So 100%, it's like, it only works if you make it work. And, some people, they might have a little bit of luck to start. Some people might not have a little bit of luck, but for this thing to work long term, you got to keep it going.
Can I add one more thing?
100%.
I think it comes down to perspective. It's easy to compare yourself with someone who has done it longer, but if you compare yourself to how you did it yesterday, and then you're just doing it better, you're improving upon that. Perspective is huge. It'll take you far.
Yeah.
And that's maybe an advice I would give to those thinking about, doing commission-based and windows and door-to-door.
Well, if you get 1% better every day, 100 days, you're 100% better. But yeah, it's kind of that in sales, your, at least full commission, something like this, your ability to earn is uncapped, but that's because your ability to learn is uncapped. Like, you have to keep learning, putting 1 foot in front of the other. If you just go, certain people, they can kind of go into neutral and just kind of coast and do good. But if you really want it to like work and make it life changing, you got to care about it. You got to put one foot in front of the other, constantly seek to progress. There's always room for improvement. It doesn't need to be, I change positions to improve. There's always improvements to be made. You're never going to know all that you need to know in whichever, whether it's setting an appointment, closing an appointment, leading a team, whatever it is, there is always more to know. And as long as you're open to it and you keep consistent with that progress, with that discipline, that consistency compounds over time. And that's how you get nicknames like $1 Million Molly.
Maybe I'll get one of those.
Yeah. Money generating Jenna. Just kidding. Yeah, she generates the revenue.
Nice. I like it.
The Jenna Raider.
Oh, I love that.
I do. I love it. That's great.
All right. So yeah, we got a new nickname on the podcast for Jenna. The Jenna Raider.
Yeah.
$1 Million Molly. So if you're someone, it doesn't need to be a woman specific, but someone that you're just dealing with similar stuff, whether it's kind of changing industries regularly or just you have that mindset of, well, it pays the bills. Life doesn't need to be a win-lose, lose-lose. It can very much be a win-win. Yeah. You just have to be creative enough to understand that there is a third option, and that option can be the best of both worlds. Yeah. So, again, thank you all for both coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yes,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely. How's the trip been so far for you?
It's been great.
It has been great. Been great. We've been truly a work family.
Yeah.
Well, it helps when everyone's making money.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, 100%. Well, again, thank you all for not only being a part of the organization, but coming on here and helping kind of spread the message of what this can look like for people. And for those of you just coming across the podcast, this is the Behind the Knock podcast. Like, subscribe, DM us, all the good stuff. We're always looking for good people. Have a good one. Bye.